Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the March 18th LaGrange Town Board meeting. Can we all please rise for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could all please remain standing for a moment of silence for those that are no longer with us and those that are serving and protecting us both here and abroad. Thank you. Please be seated. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. All right, we're ready to begin here. Madam Clerk, can you please do a roll call?
Ms. Condon?
Here.
Mr. Ryan?
Here.
Supervisor?
Here.
Mr. Giangrasso?
Here.
Ms. Robbins? Here.
Thank you very much. Before we begin, we have to add a couple things to the agenda. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include the bid award for Manchester Water District tank clearing.
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
We're also going to edit another agenda item. It is the consideration of approval of a request for Deidre Mance and Patsy Morocco to attend. I know, I'm sorry, yep. To attend New York State Magistrate Court Conference in Albany from September 27th through September 30th. We're also going to add Cindy Peragio and Judge Susan Sullivan Biscaglia. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. All right. And do I need a motion to adopt the actual agenda now?
Adopt the agenda as
Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended? Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Our March 4th minutes, do I have a motion to accept?
Accept as written.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Kelly, you were not here, right?
So I did not.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, the next here, we have the town board will consider acceptance of monthly revenue reports from the town departments from the previous month as follows. Building and zoning, $26,440. Public Works, $2,400. Justice Sullivan Biscaglia, $11,467.50. Justice O'Hare, $15,837. Recreation, $9,625.50. And Town Clerk, $597.02. Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Okay, moving forward. Okay, the next item here is a continuation of a public hearing for the proposed local law short-term rental. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For those that want to come up and speak, you can come up forward here. Please speak to the board. And if anyone would like to speak, please raise your hand. Yes? Roy, come on up, sir.
Hey, Roy Kiva, Carter Road, Town LaGrange. So a couple comments. I don't know if this has been reviewed, peer-reviewed, checked over, but there's some glaring errors on this whole proposal, and there's some very confusing aspects to it. I don't know if you want me to go page by page on it, but I'll start at the top that it says, I don't know, I know this was initially brought up last year in 2025. I don't know if that's when it goes into effect, or does it go into effect 2026? Several areas throughout the law, it's written or it's typed out town code of the town of LaGrange, then it's the town of LaGrange code of LaGrange, something like that. So I think there needs to be a consistency. When you get into paragraph A on the purpose, 189-1, you start talking about town of LaGrange code. There's a first instance, and then fire prevention and building code. As you go through, then
Where's the fire part, Roy?
paragraph A, under 189, it says the Town of LaGrange Code and the Fire Prevention and Building Code. Once you get to page 3, it starts talking about the Town of LaGrange Code and the New York State Uniform Building and Fire Codes. I don't know if they're supposed to be the same or if it's two completely different things.
Yep.
There's some typographical errors on page 3, the short-term rental unit, the short-term, the space there, it's capitalized farther down in the paragraph. I apologize for this, when I do a lot of law report reviews, so little things like this, I don't want to
No,
have the
this is
town
good.
open up
This
to
is- yeah.
loopholes that people can get away with. Again, throughout, I think some of the consistencies between New York State uniform building codes, fire, town of LaGrange, so on and so forth. And then on what I numbered the pages, page 7, so 189-7, paragraph A, I had to read about 10 times and I still don't understand, so I don't know if that needs to be clarified. I don't know how to clarify that more. That's probably going to be more to council and discussion on the board. And I think that is going to be all on my grammatical and critique and nitpicking on that. One question I do have is there going to be a limit to how many short-term rentals a person can own? Because I didn't see that in here. Can they have one, multiple, up to how many?
It's a good question, and that was actually brought up when we first started the public hearing by another gentleman that had a very similar remark to that. So we're in the stage, that's why we kept this public hearing open, because our first meeting 2 weeks ago, I think we only had one person, perhaps maybe 2 people speak, and we felt that we would have a lot more than that to speak, so we wanted to keep it open, so we continue to get as many comments as possible. And for the record, this law was written last year. Our new town attorney did not write this law. I didn't have a say in the way this was written, as well as some others. So that's kind of why we're taking our time on this and just listening for comments and then reassess.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then in here it has reference to the town code enforcement officer, which to my understanding, the town doesn't have one. In the future, or in the instance where the town does not have a code enforcement officer, who's enforcing the code for violations? Does it go to another department? Where does that fall under, and the reporting in that regard?
Yeah, no, it's all valid comments.
Here to all out.
So, all right, thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Roy. Appreciate it very much. Okay, I'll do that at the end. Would anyone else like to come up and speak on the proposed local law for short-term rentals? You sure? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You can come up and speak. Well, in case someone changes their mind, just for the record too, we do have an email that was submitted to the supervisor as well as the town board members. We did give this to the clerk, so I just want to put that on the record as well. It should be in the minutes posted as well. Going once? No? Okay. All right, so do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town board discussion. Councilman Robin, would you like to add some notes, some thoughts to this? I know you weren't at the first meeting, but like I was saying, we had one, if not maybe 2 individuals that spoke. We had 1 individual tonight. We had something that was submitted on the record. But please add any thoughts to this, if you'd like. And you want to move the mic over so that they can hear?
At this point, I just wanted to let you guys know I printed out the town of Wappinger's STR, all their paperwork, so we could take a look at this and identify anything else we want to add, change.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Councilman Giangrasso, do you have any comments on this?
No, not at this time.
No?
I think we have to revisit.
Just talk on the microphone so they can hear you. Here we go.
I think we have to revisit this because there's multiple things that are not in this law that I think that we all would agree. Just the one person who said how many people can be in the unit at a time.
Right.
So we have a list of things that I think we need to revisit.
Absolutely. There is a list of things, I noticed that it references an application fee, a renewal fee. There's nothing written as far as how much. It's currently written that it's allowed in all zoning districts. That's something that should be spoken about. Do you literally want it in all zoning districts? Do you not? Somebody mentioned the enforcement. Who enforces this? That's another question. The way this is also written, the current application is going to the clerk. I'm not sure if that's normal in other townships, that it goes to the clerk, but I'm really not aware of seeing that in other laws. Occupancy, I think, I don't know if Shane, if you can talk about this, but the way ours is written, it's almost like it's allowing more than I think what it's intending to do.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a number of issues that I find with the law too, but to your point, I think it's section L.
Can you just let them know the number so we can look at it?
It's L, and I'm not sure what page, I just wrote down L here. Yeah, this is L, 189-4L. And the way it's written, at least how I view it, is, it talks about maximum occupancy, but it's not based on bedroom count. It's based on sleeping accommodation. So if you have a couch in a single family, if you have 10 couches, or not 10 couches, but if you have multiple couches in a single family residence, you can have, 12 people in that single family residence. So it could get potentially out of control. It's not based on bedroom count, which
Yeah, the law
I
would
think it
have
should
to
be.
be for
Yeah.
Board of Health.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
the
there's-
intention
And
was
septic,
that they
I mean-
had originally put, 2 people per bedroom,
Yes.
which you see in a lot of municipalities, but then adding the futons and everything else, it's a little confusing. So that was something I saw, and I think, there's just a bunch of things. I know the zoning administrator had mentioned some concerns with the way the parking was written in this law. So I think the overall consensus is that this board has to continue to work on this. One of the things I would have preferred from the beginning, but I didn't have a say on this, was that when you start introducing these laws, we should have what's called a workshop meeting. We can sit down, set up a special workshop meeting. We can discuss what our intent is, what we want to bring forward to the town. For example, a short-term rental law, which is necessary, but it allows us as a board with council in the public eye to discuss our intent, what we want to do, work on it, brainstorm, and then draft a law that's sound and that we agree on. It's not the particular situation that we have in front of us, but it's going to need some work. And Shane, I'm not sure the process now. If we start making all these changes, what's the process?
I mean, the issue that I have is, if you're going to make what I would call material changes to the law, it would trigger a recirculation to the county planning and to the neighboring municipalities, because it's not the same. Think about it, we're changing substantive things to this law. And you really can't, you almost have to restart the process. And there's a number I have too. I don't know if the board wants me to go through them, but.
No, you should, please.
I mean, a lot of towns make a distinction between hosted and non-hosted short-term rentals. I don't know if the board wants to do that. That's fine if we don't, but that's something we can discuss if we want to treat those two differently, if there's a host on site versus not on site. Anthony mentioned, our supervisor mentioned, the zoning districts. Is it going to be in all zoning districts or just particular ones? There's an enforcement issue with the code enforcement officer versus the zoning administrator. Who the application's submitted to. I think it should probably be the zoning administrator as the enforcement arm of the town, and that's where the application should be submitted. There's issues with parking, the number of parking spaces that should be required. And then also, it was a good point, it was raised tonight, and it was raised at the prior public hearing, about should we have a cap on the amount of short-term rentals a person owns or an entity owns, or a person that has a controlling interest in an entity, and how we define that so we don't have a proliferation of these things owned by large corporate interests, and that there's a way to write that, and I think the way this is currently written leaves it open for that. And again, it's just something to discuss. We talked about the maximum occupancy. That's a concern. It talks about how you can't host parties, but there's no real definition of what an event or a party would be. Let's see, the penalties for offense, they seem to be a little out of line with what the town code has now in other areas. And then just more broadly, and I think Roy mentioned this before, going through this, terms of art, if we're going to make definitions in the code, they should be capitalized to give them their defined meanings, and they're not throughout this. And whether or not this should be added as a part of Chapter 240, which is our zoning code, so we could update our schedule of use regulations to regulate it that way, rather than it being a standalone chapter of the town code. So those are all things, I think, substantive changes that,
Would cause a retrigger?
Would cause a retrigger, and, yeah, again, this is something we've inherited, and,
Right.
I think the board should
My
take a look
take would
at
be
it.
on that, though, if we're going to be in that situation, no matter what, you're going to have to go back to county. So I think to eliminate time and all that, we should consider just coming up with a date for a workshop meeting. And whether it's a special meeting, you know, a regular meeting, it'll still be televised, but I think that it would make sense for a workshop meeting specifically on this. And we can go down each line item one by one and talk it out, what we think, what we do, you know what I mean, what we don't think, and then come up with something that we're confident in and at the same time addresses the needs of our residents. I was expecting more people to speak on this, honestly, but it's okay because we're not rushing to make a decision that maybe we'll regret because it's not written correctly. So that's my take on it. I think a workshop meeting would make a lot of sense.
I agree.
You agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so we'll move on. We'll work on something and schedule it. All
Sounds
right?
good.
Thank you. Let's get rid of that. Okay. All right, this is our second public hearing tonight. This is for a proposed local law for a sewer connection hardship. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Would anyone like to come up and speak on the proposed local law for the sewer connection hardship? Repeat again. Would anyone like to come up and speak? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing on the proposed local law for the sewer connection hardship?
Motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Okay. We're going to move on, right?
Yes.
Okay. Next we're going to work on is the, actually supervisor comments. So just give me a moment. Okay. All right, so these past 2 weeks have been quite busy for us here at Town Hall. I recently met with leaders of all the sports leagues, including Grange baseball, soccer, and lacrosse. Included with me was our Parks and Recs Director, Sandy Washburn, staffing as well, including Sam and TJ. These meetings were very productive as it gave an opportunity for all parties to properly plan for the busy season ahead and also work on old business as well as new business. Amazing coordination from the leagues and their board members as well as our staff here. They all do a tremendous job. And we are excited for hopefully warmer weather and to get these kids out on the field. I know my son's excited. So, I also met with our chairman of the Open Space Committee, Dieter Lucas, who has been working very hard with his committee, and we are excited to see more volunteers coming together to work for the benefit of the town. Councilman Ryan has also been very active with this committee as well and helping them with information. So thank you to Dieter and the members of the Open Space Committee. There's Dieter. How are you? I've also been working with our planning secretary, Sandra Hughes, as we enter our third working session with Municolab tomorrow. We will be getting a better understanding of the time frame of launch, but I suspect this to still be about 4 or 5 weeks out. This project will be a great asset to not only our planning board, but our community as well for greater transparency. That's been a great onboard process so far, so we are truly excited for that. Lastly, we started our afternoon today with our first senior social of the year at Freedom Presbyterian Church. That was an excellent event. We had about 100 guests. It was an amazing time with music, food, and giveaways. And we also had an opportunity to introduce new staff members, as well as our starting date, which I'll wait for Sandy to talk about that. But in general, please let all family and friends know, our seniors, to reach out to Town Hall, as our senior drop-in center is starting very soon, and we'd like to get the word out to get people signed up. So it's very exciting. Well, thank you. Correspondence, we have none. Okay. Okay, Greg, or actually, I'm sorry. This next item here is the public comment for agenda items only. Just a quick reminder, if anybody wants to speak on any of the items on the agenda, you have an opportunity to do so. Try to keep your comments within 3 minutes, address it to the board. and don't be shy to come up and speak. So do I have a motion to open the public comment for agenda items only?
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Greg, would you like to start? Do you want to say something on the agenda as well?
Sure.
Okay.
On this.
Yeah, please.
Greg Bolner with CPL. We put out RFP for, a request for quotes for tree clearing at the Red Oaks Mill site for the new storage tank and pump station. The trees do need to be cleared by the end of this month. Contractors are well aware of that. We received 3 quotes. We received probably about 5 or 6 inquiries on it, so I sent out RFPs to 5 or 6 contractors, but we received 3 quotes. The quotes were basically broken down as cut the trees, leave them where they fall, cut the trees, chip them up, and leave the chips on site, or cut the trees and haul everything off site. The cost difference between chipping them on site and hauling them off was about $5,000. I had spoken to the highway superintendent. Currently, the town doesn't pay to have chips received by a person here in the town that uses them for mulch, or they can stay on site and be used. So we were looking at alternate 1, which was the cut the trees, chip them, and leave the chips on site. We had 2 contractors with the exact same bid amount of $12,000. The third contractor was $27,500. But between the 2 contractors, they're both qualified contractors. I've worked with both of them. So from my standpoint, either one of them are qualified and capable of doing the work. And so I kind of leave it to the discretion of the board to select one of those 2 contractors. If you want me to say who they are, I can say them.
Sure, yeah.
It's Rancourt and Sons, Land Clearing Corp., and CMJ, what's their, anyways. Yeah, Land Services. So, and like I say, both of them are qualified and capable of doing the work, and I've talked to both of them, and they're prepared to get it done. Option.
Alternate 1, right?
Alternate 1.
Alternate 1.
Not the base bid. I'm sorry, yeah, alternate 1.
You said it.
Yes, alternate
you,
1.
Greg.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for Greg?
No.
No? Thank you very much. Would anyone else like to come up and speak on any of the agenda items? Dave?
I don't need to come up, I just a question, the location of the pump station on Red Oaks Mill is where exactly?
Dave, you want, or, I'm sorry, Greg?
The location of the pump station is on the Red Oaks Mill farm parcel, but it's down in the farm and then all the way up to Titusville Road. So that parcel actually touches Titusville Road, and that is where the pump station and tank will be, about 100 feet off the road.
How many acres of trees are we cutting?
About 0.6 acres.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir. Come on up.
Just a quick one for Dave. What about, does that include repair to that fence, or what's left of that fence? The chain link fence that used to be there, but has been completely destroyed by the trees falling? And it looks like it's an eyesore. It's half down, half up, the trees are leaning on it.
I'm not,
Talking on Romper Road?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the Romper Road.
okay, so,
I'm sorry.
yeah. Yeah, so that would be at the south end of that property. This is at the very north end of that property. So it's...
Good.
Casey.
All set. No problem. No problem. Thank you, Greg.
Okay.
Would anyone else like to come up and speak on any of the agenda items? The gentleman? Yeah, please, come on up.
Great. Thank you. I wanted to speak tonight about the potential proposal of a battery energy storage law. Thank you for taking comments tonight. My name's Sean Daig. I'm a software architect with IBM. My wife and I bought our home in LaGrange in 2004. We're up on Schuyler Drive. We have a precocious 6th grader at LMS down the road, which is a very fun time of childhood raising. I'm concerned about the town considering a battery storage moratorium at this time of energy affordability. We are at this affordability crisis. I'm sure everyone has looked at their February and March Central Hudson bills. They have been quite a thing. I'm concerned in rushing to a moratorium as written that would currently prevent homeowners having the freedom to install their own battery storage and solar, and to be able to get off of this wild price roller coaster with Central Hudson. Unclear as it's written right now, whether or not things like, this is like the batteries I use to mow my lawn, use my chainsaw, and do, this can actually also run our refrigerator and chest freezer when the power goes out, and whether or not this would be like an excluded entity, the way it's written, with just talks about 12-volt batteries as being the only things allowed in. Also, on the affordability front, I did get the opportunity to attend the Orge's presentation, the big battery proposal that maybe is coming, that the LaGrange CAC hosted this winter. That project that they showed there potentially provides somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1 million a year in pilot tax payments over the course of the battery life, like 20 to 25 years, which is a pretty substantial portion of the town budget. When we think about affordability right now, again, being a taxpayer here for the last 20 years, if my math is right, that like is about $300 per household per year in sort of tax relief is the order of magnitude we're looking at. So instead of moving forward with just a straight out moratorium, it would be good to like look at these projects directly and in depth and let the town have the freedom to evaluate them on their merits. So when at a time when affordability is such a concern, I just think now is not the time to just put a blanket moratorium in place, but to actually look at like what is the right model laws we want as a town to be able to allow in the things and the freedom that we want here. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, please, come on up. Good evening.
Good evening. Oh, boy. Hi, everyone. My name is Nivo Ravito. I'm a longtime resident of LaGrange. With all the proposals for large-scale battery storage, not just in LaGrange, but throughout the Hudson Valley, the public and officials need the facts on BESS, battery energy storage systems. So to inform our town's officials, especially the town board, the planning board, fire department, and the CAC, as well as the public, the local Sierra Club has invited an independent panel of experts to offer an information session on April 8th here at the town hall at 7 p.m. So the panel will give presentations explaining what battery energy systems, storage systems are, their role in our energy system, and their fire safety profile. One of the speakers I want to highlight in particular is Dan Murray, who is a senior consultant at the Energy Safety Response Group. And he's a 32-year veteran of the New York City Fire Department and their former chief in charge of hazmat operations. He brings deep expertise in the fire safety profile of BESS, certification standards, and new fire codes, the new fire codes. After panelists present, they will answer questions from the audience as well. So it will be a great opportunity to hear from experts on your questions and concerns. Now, turning to the question at hand regarding the proposed moratorium, my opinion after learning about BESS is that the moratorium is not needed. Instead of a moratorium, I think the town's effort would be better spent on crafting local laws for BESS by studying the model legislation which is already available from New York State government as a starting point for our own legislation. New York State has put together a very thorough, thoughtful set of guidelines I've attended a 2-hour webinar on it, and I'm convinced our town would benefit by studying it in pursuit of the Grange legislation to regulate BESS. I'm also convinced about the safety of BESS based on reviewing the new New York State Fire Code for BESS that went into effect in January of this year. And it's among the toughest and most thorough in the nation. Many of the reasons for BESS fires, which make a very prominent news item, are eliminated with the new regulations that cover spacing, equipment, and the very thorough testing that's involved with that equipment, certification, monitoring, and emergency response. Statistically, battery fires are much less likely than natural gas fires. And on the benefit side, BESS would bring revenue, as Sean mentioned, to the Grange town budget. It holds the possibility for reduced electrical rate price spikes, as they've learned in Texas, and it offers grid resilience without the very expensive transmission lines that we would all have to pay for. So please stay tuned, and I thank Supervisor Marinaro and the town board for the opportunity to speak on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, please, come on up. Next. Good evening.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Ellen Wagoner. I'm also a longtime Town of LaGrange resident since 1986. And I very much appreciate your welcoming public comments as you do. I would also like to ask that the town not enact the BESS moratorium, but instead take time to use these upcoming information opportunities to learn about it, and think carefully about a whole town approach, choosing the best sites for these powerful and useful backups. I'd like to see sort of pre-planning rather than just responding to to people who would like to create a site. Why not plan ahead of time and say, this is where we'd like you to go? And I know that people are concerned about the risks of this technology, as Nevo described, and it is sensible to look carefully at these new configurations. We've been using batteries to store energy for many, many years, whether it's a 12-volt battery in our car, the lithium batteries in our phones that we all have on us, the powerful batteries in our electric vehicles. Each of those holds a tremendous amount of energy in the battery. And because they're new, an EV car fire is big news. But gasoline-powered cars per mile driven are 60 times more likely to catch fire than an EV is. I remember many years ago, we were coming home from Florida. It was an 8-lane highway, 4 this way, 4 that way. On the far side, there was a gasoline-powered car, fully engulfed in flames. They must have been 20 feet high. On the far side, with our windows closed, we could really feel the heat. Fires are scary. I mean, they can be tremendously damaging. And that's why New York State gathered that group of experts to create these new regulations. I read them. They're very tough, and they're very thorough. And BESS will allow us to very much reduce the need to use gas-fired peaker plants. The grid needs to be able to respond to the highest level of demand when it's 100 degrees or 9 below. And that's why we need either a peaker plant or a group of battery energy storage groups that have collected energy when the demand is low. And I'm not trying to pull anyone away from their favorite gas stove, but I've recently become aware of the tremendous number of gas fires and explosions there are. Practically every day, if you ask Google to show you gas fires in the US today, there'll be 2 or 3. And they often kill people, they make huge explosions, They hurt a lot of people. I think if gas were a new fuel, we wouldn't consider it. We'd think it was way too dangerous. No, it's a better replacement than, it's a good replacement for coal and oil, but I think our batteries would be better. So, and if these batteries do catch fire, they produce the same kind of smoke that a house fire or a restaurant fire causes. Thank you again for listening.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to you working on it.
She's going to come up real quick. She'll come up next, sir. She's going to come up real quick. That's okay. Come on up. Hello.
Hi, good evening, and thanks Supervisor and the board for allowing public comments like this. It's really tremendous and wonderful. I've been a resident of LaGrange for 26 years, and my husband and I have raised 3 now adult kids here in the area. We installed solar panels on our roof in 2016 and have slowly been working towards a lower carbon future, including leasing an electric car. So I also want to say I'm really grateful and really value the charging plaza that's near the tops off of Route 55, which is in LaGrange. And I support additional efforts on the part of the town to pursue a zero carbon future for the town and the region. I would like to be able to install battery storage at my residence at some point, which I would not be able to do if there's this moratorium in place, at least as far as I can understand things. The more that we can reduce our carbon footprint in our homes, businesses, and schools, the better for our community health and that of the nature around us. Further, with gas, oil, and other fossil fuels tied up in the global chaos, with the current war and other issues, it seems even more important for the town to support efforts to move away from fossil fuels. And I think battery energy storage is one step in that direction. I'm not in favor of the moratorium for battery storage, and I agree with others that I've heard tonight that the town really should be able to move forward in a responsible way with knowledge and education, so that we can tackle energy affordability as well as the health and well-being of the public and our environment. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. I just want to say a few words. My name's Scott Loveland. I've been an over 20-year resident of the town of LaGrange over on Curtin Court. I'm going to just chime in with others and say I don't see a need for a battery moratorium in the town. There may have been a time when it was reasonable to question battery safety, but really not anymore. It turns out between the rapid advancements in battery technology and the New York State imposing the nation-leading battery safety codes just this year, it's just not a concern anymore. So it seems to me a moratorium would be counterproductive. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Roy, please come on up.
Hello again. Well, I'm certainly going to be in the minority on this. I fully support the moratorium, as I brought up the concerns earlier in the year. I think the moratorium gives a good opportunity for the town to do research and conduct proper research and study on these plants. My profession, the battery fires that I come across are extremely intense, extremely hot, and you really can't put them out. You hope the only way they go out is letting them burn out. They talk about all the safety, especially in electric vehicles, all that stuff, that the self-containment, if one battery cell ruptures, the surrounding ones isolated. That's not really true, because if there's multiple, then you get to a point where the batteries all just combust and burn. You can't put them out with just water, or it takes almost an hour to put out with water. So usually you just let them burn. Right. And in my profession now, we're now tackling what to do with damaged batteries in vehicles. So the state is actually looking at getting roll-off containers to store damaged electric vehicles in them, so they don't cause fires to any of the police stations, anywhere they're stored, including tow yards, impound lots, etc., because these fires and these batteries are dangerous. I know I've had a discussion after a meeting or two ago with Ms. Wagner. I thought it was a great discussion. I think we both agreed to disagree, but it was I felt it was a respectful discussion. I think this is a good opportunity to research it more, and I think the batteries, it's a new technology, and I still think we need to do our due diligence. And it's only a 6-month moratorium. It's not 5 years, 10 years, et cetera. I think it's a good opportunity to sit back and watch it. But so I think it's a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, come on up, sir. How are you?
Yes, I'd like to thank the board for allowing this discussion. I'm a newbie here. I've only been here 10 years. And in all honesty, I've seen experiences with batteries where, like this gentleman said before, you can't put the fires out. You have to let them burn out. And it's a dangerous situation. Also, looking down the road, what do we do with these batteries once they're no good anymore? Where are we going to dump them? Where are we going to store them? We have to have some place to get rid of these things. And I don't think anybody's thinking that far ahead right now. That's why I think this moratorium is a good idea. Just sort of we can research this a little bit better and try to make an educated decision. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Evening. I'm less than 10 years. I'm a guest. I'm from the town of Poughkeepsie, next door. I'm a neighbor. My name is Jeff Seidman. I teach at Vassar College in our environmental studies programs. And in particular, I teach courses on the electric grid and the energy system, which is part of why I'm here. The other part of why I'm here is a couple of years ago, Poughkeepsie, the town of Poughkeepsie, faced the same kind of question. We had a developer proposing, I'm sorry, it's making a lot of static. Just step back. Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay.
We had a developer with a proposal for a large battery system, and neighbors were understandably very, very concerned. They Googled lithium-ion batteries, and they saw alarming pictures of fires, and they read articles with scary names of chemicals that are in the smoke. And so they were concerned for the very best reasons. They were concerned about the health and safety and welfare of their family and their community, and they demanded that the town board impose a moratorium. It did. 6 months initially, and then it was renewed twice, so 18 months in total. But as I said, I teach these things and study these things, so I knew something about them. And so I knew in terms of safety that the sensationalistic news articles one reads gives one a disproportionate, an out-of-focus understanding of the risk profile. What the gentleman said earlier is absolutely correct. Best practice is not to put them out. Sorry, just stand further back. Okay. You can hear me okay if I stand.
Get that fixed.
Push it back.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
I'm going to do that. You can hear me okay, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to do that. So absolutely right. The best practice is not to put them out, is to let them self-consume and self-extinguish. That's the safest thing to do, and that's the best thing to do, and they do that in time. Also, in answer to a question another gentleman raised, the New York Fire Code now requires that a developer has a plan for decommissioning. It's on the developer to take the used batteries away at the end of their life, and you can require that they are bonded so that they have to put money up front in case they were to go out of business or something like that, so it's not left on the town. So I came to the town of Poughkeepsie meetings because I understood the risks and that they're overstated. The truth is, batteries bring far less risk than many technologies we live with every single day. They're different in their shape, they're new, but they are less risky. A battery fire has a chemical profile, the smoke of a battery fire, similar to that from a structural fire, and they are about as likely as a restaurant to catch fire. We live with restaurants. Right? And I also understood something about the local benefits. Batteries, the way they work is they buy power when power is cheap. And in the Hudson Valley, what that means is buying power overnight from upstate, usually, hydropower, nuclear power, wind power, that is very low cost. And then during the day, when demand for electricity is high, they release that power into the grid, and in doing so, they undercut on price the fossil fuel generation power plants, oil and gas, that are here in the Hudson Valley. So we get cheaper power and cleaner air to boot. So knowing this, I worked with a group of others, including, for instance, I recruited the chair of the engineering department at Dutchess Community College. We brought in outside experts, including from FDNY, the guy who was the head of hazmat operations and has deep expertise on battery fires. And slowly, we worked to inform the town board of Poughkeepsie and the community, so that after about 18 months, finally, they felt ready to make an evidence-based decision. They repealed their moratorium. They enacted a zoning law based on NYSERDA's model zoning law to enable batteries in the town. I think I'm here tonight to urge you not to take such a long and circuitous route. The experts are to hand. This wonderful event is happening on April 8th. You should absolutely take the time necessary to do research and consult experts and make an evidence-based decision about what will be best for LaGrange. So to start, I'd recommend not just the board members, but community members who have concerns, and hopefully fire department officials to come to that meeting. And it'll be a good chance to get your concerns addressed by people who have knowledge, including a lot deeper knowledge than I have. Thanks very much.
And that meeting, we will have that meeting filmed as well that night for you guys too. So, thank you. Anyone else like to come up and speak? No? Okay. Oh, John, yep.
I just want to make sure nobody else is getting up. John Wispin, Highway Superintendent for LaGrange. Two agendas I want to talk about: the fill in the vacancy for the MEO position. That will put us back up to 19 full-time employees after the last two had resigned for moving. And the second one is for giving my secretary a adjustment in her pay. She's picked up more duties over the years of working here. She's been here now for 20 years. She's been Mike Kelly, Highway Superintendent, for 32 years, but she was his right-hand woman for, I think she was there for about 16 years before she went from here down there. 18 years, okay. And she's pretty much the glue that holds our department together. She takes care of the town center responsibilities. She's doing more than just answering phones. She's doing the payroll for 19 full-time employees. It was 17, now it's going back to 19. She's working with our shop manager, talking with vendors, getting best prices, shopping around, she's doing driving permits. She's just not sitting there answering the phone. She is literally, I'm on the road working all day long with the guys, so she's there. She'll call me up: Johnny, you got a complaint over here. Johnny, we got this. You have a meeting this time. She's keeping me on my toes, as she did with Mike, like scheduling our daily activities that we need to do. So if you guys could just please consider that, that'd be great. And about speaking with Greg Volner, we spoke about the Red Oaks Mill job, and I gave him my opinion, how I felt that option 2 for chipping or cutting and chipping and leaving them there, that was our best option to save us money, and we could always move them afterwards or put them as fill where it needs.
Excellent.
That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to come up and speak on any of the agenda items? No? All right. Do I have a motion to close the public comment on agenda items? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so we're going to start with our first item, which we added, which is going to be the bid award for the Manchester Water District tank clearing. Town board discussion. We've heard from our professionals, we've heard from our highway superintendent, where we should be on this, on alternate 1. Any discussion on the vendors themselves? Susan?
No, I'll take their word for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Rich?
Yes, I know Raincourt would do a fabulous job, and if he can do it on time, which he says, I would recommend.
Yeah, this is time sensitive too.
Yeah,
It
I
has
know.
to get done.
It has to be get,
Yeah.
yeah, this is tonight.
Okay. Kelly, do you have any comments?
I agree with Rich, actually.
Rancourt?
I like Rancourt.
Okay. Franco?
I'm good with that, too.
Okay, I'm familiar with the company. They've been doing work around this town for a long time in this area. So I'm comfortable as well to make a motion to award Rancourt for the bid, for the $12,000 bid for alternate one. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, resolution passed. Thank you very much. Okay, this next resolution, we'll have a quick, brief discussion on this. The resolution of introduction for the local law battery energy storage systems moratorium to set the public hearing for May 6th, 2026. Town board discussion. Councilman Robin, do you have anything you'd like to say on this?
I have no problem with setting the hearing.
Okay. Councilman John Grasso, do you have any comments to this?
No, we can set that hearing just so we can get more.
Yeah.
I think the April 4th.
Eighth.
8th,
Yep.
sorry, April 8th will give us a lot more information that we can make an educated decision on this.
Do you have any comments, Rich?
Yeah, hopefully everyone's seeing this, and we'll attend the April 8th meeting and do the best we can for everyone.
My comments...
And it's at 7 o'clock.
Yep. My comments are, I think tonight we had a lot of people speak on this, which is excellent. A lot of educated individuals that came forward, and then there's a lot of residents also that have concerns. And I think that the most important thing to understand here, just like other towns did, they put moratoriums. And the towns that did, for example, the gentleman mentioned town of Poughkeepsie, they took, quite some time, 18 months, but in the end they ended up allowing it. So I think the most important thing to note here that a moratorium is not a final say to say just because we're doing a moratorium we're not allowing something. It's literally for us to just call time out here and say we have concerns. We do have a lot of educated individuals that are bringing up factual information. On the flip side, we also have a lot of residents that are concerned. So it's our responsibility as board members to make educated decisions, to know our facts, to know if this is allowed, where can it go in our town, where is it zoned, understanding the safety, understanding, all of this material that's the purpose of a moratorium. It's just to take a step back and learn. And I think that there's going to be opportunities, no question, especially coming up in April, which I intend on attending that meeting, as I think everyone should. And we should put that information out. We'll absolutely help share that information for you. But again, I think the biggest thing is that everyone has to understand that even if we enact a moratorium, it doesn't mean we're for or against. It's just a little bit of a break here to say, let's do our due diligence, let's do our homework as a board and as a community, and educate ourselves. And for those reasons, I'm comfortable with setting that moratorium because I think it's the responsible thing to do, not only for our community, but for us as board members to just do our homework. So I just wanted to put that out there as well so everyone understands my personal take on it. So with that being said, do I have a motion to introduce the local law battery energy storage systems moratorium and set the public hearing for May 6, 2026? Motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Everyone can learn everything.
Aye. Okay. Thank you very much. Resolution passed. Okay. Just give me 1 second here. Okay, so this next one, this one is a good one. So just to clarify, I know the board has a slightly updated verbiage on this particular resolution, which is establishing a fire department liaison to the planning board. Public has one resolution, but after discussing with Chief Champion, we've actually updated the language on this a little bit. The chief wanted it written a different way. And I can kind of go over that as well with you real quick before we take action on it. Basically, what this is, what the chief had asked us to consider was that the fire district chief shall nominate a fire district member to serve as a fire district liaison by submitting the name and title of a qualified fire district member in writing to the town supervisor for consideration by the town board. The town board shall review the submitted letter from the fire district chief and other additional information it deems necessary to determine the fire district's qualification, and if the town board in its sole discretion determines that the nominated individual is acceptable, appoint said individual to serve as a fire district liaison to the town planning board. So it just updated the language a little bit, but for the people watching at home, basically what this is an opportunity to help streamline information by creating a fire district liaison seat to the planning board. That individual will have a term of 2 years, and they shall review, notice, and may review all applications received by the planning board, included but not limited to applications for site plan and subdivision approval. So do I have a motion to accept this resolution?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Resolution passed. Thank you very much. This next one is actually essentially somewhat similar. It's actually very similar.
We have to wait on this one, though. Because we only have, right now, it was a rotating shift they wanted to do with the CAC. So if we can wait till we get a name on it, who will come to everyone, because you had that as a 2-year term also?
So the way we have it written is pretty similar. It's very similar to the fire.
Yep.
Basically, what we want to do with this is the Conservation Advisory Committee, we want to create a liaison seat as well to the planning board. Same as the fire, it would be a 2-year term. We would designate one member. They would have the same access to applications and supporting documents and all of that. I know Councilman Ryan had suggested, or mentioned rather, that there was some questions, I would assume from certain members. The only thing I would say is that we want to create a liaison seat for one individual. And then what I would recommend is that that one individual at that point can go back to the committee, give them all the information that they want and need. And I think by us establishing this tonight, we're pretty much green lighting it, and then the committee will help us find somebody.
Thank you.
I think that's the cleanest way to do it.
Works for me. Yes.
Okay, so this would be a resolution for the CAC liaison to the planning board. Do I have any town board discussion, any questions on that? No? Yep, okay. Do I have a motion to accept? Second? All in favor? Aye. Resolution passed. Great. Thank you very much. Okay, our highway superintendent spoke about the next one here. This was a consideration of a request to fill a machine operator vacancy for the salary of $30.13. Any discussion on this? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept this request? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Good luck, John, on this. Thank you. All right. So the next one is a consideration of appointment of Jenny Diasio to the position of part-time personnel assistant. This is actually to read 15 to 20 hours a week at an hourly rate of $30. Town board discussion?
Looks good.
Good? Everyone happy with that? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do I have a motion to accept this?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Okay, this one I'm really excited about. This is for our veterans here in the town of LaGrange. From what we know, we have approximately 500 to 800, but there can be a lot more than that. This resolution establishing the Veterans Advisory Committee. The purpose of the Veterans Advisory Committee shall be to perform the following functions: educate the town board and public on issues affecting veterans and their families, advocate on behalf of veterans residing in the town of LaGrange, assist veterans and their families in navigating local, state, and federal programs, services, and opportunities available to them, promote and assist with community events, ceremonies, and initiatives that recognize and support veterans, and provide recommendations to the town board regarding programs, resources, or initiatives that may benefit veterans in the community. I think this is going to be a great add-on to our town. Do I have a motion to accept the consideration of formation of the Veterans Advisory Affairs Committee?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Okay, this one, all right, this one's pretty simple. So we have some old equipment stuff that's been sitting around, in some cases 8, 10, 12 years. So this is a consideration of declaration of surplus equipment for a John Deere tractor and a mule. So do I have a motion to accept?
Yes.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Excuse me, thank you very much. This is for our courts. Consideration of approval of a request for Deidre Mance and Patsy Morocco to attend New York State Magistrate Court Clerk Conference in Albany, excuse me, as well as Cindy Peragio and Judge Sullivan Biscaglia. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye, excuse me. Thank you. This last one is second to last. Consideration of approval of an hourly rate adjustment to $34.20 for Highway Secretary Sherry Salfelder, retroactive to January 1, 2026. Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Resolution passed. Thank you. And the last one is a request from our Planning Board Chairman, Randy Aldridge, to reappoint Mark Olson to the Planning Board. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you so much. Town Board comments. Any comments from the Town Board? I think we had kind of went over a lot tonight, right? Okay. So this next part here, we're very happy and excited for. We have two of our legislators representing the town of LaGrange, Legislator Michael Polisek and Legislator Emma Arnoff. They're both going to be providing us updates tonight in the community for government and county business. We're going to start with Legislator Michael Polisek. Good evening.
Good evening. Just want to thank you, Supervisor and Town Board, for allowing me to come give you some updates on county business. So a lot of people don't know what a county legislator does, but our jobs are basically to represent the residents of our district to the county. We vote on laws, we vote on county budgets, policies that impact services, public safety, community programs. We advocate for our district when it comes to funding, infrastructure projects, and bring resources back to our local communities. As a representative of LaGrange for just over 6 years now, one of my largest focus is on infrastructure, specifically infrastructure safety, and funding and advocacy on behalf of our constituents. So I want to start off by just talking about some infrastructure projects that I've been a part of, some for a couple years now, and it's nice to see them coming to fruition. So one of the largest projects I had worked on when I first started in the legislature was the Smith-Maloney Road intersection. And anybody who's driven on Knoxdown Road through that has already pulled off one of those roads onto Knoxdown Road knows it was horrendous. When I came into the legislature, again, it was one of the projects that I got in touch with DPW right away on. They had already started thinking about what they were going to do there. And so I'm happy that in 2002 we completed that project. If you've driven through there, it's so much better than it used to be. So that was an exciting project that I was part of. We just recently finished the Knoxdown Road culvert bridge project. Which happened over Jackson Creek last year. I will tell people, I know these projects are an inconvenience, absolutely, especially that project. There was a big, you really had to kind of work around that area, but it's done. It was done quickly. It was done on time, under budget, and again, it's just another infrastructure project that I thought was a good show of what the county does in the town. Some current future projects that are going to be happening. So we are going to be working on a culvert replacement, which is over on Titusville Road by Page Lumber. There's a little road that connects 55 to Titusville. It's going to be right there. So that is something that actually the county has gotten a $1.5 million grant award for from the state of New York. Unfortunately, with the way the costs are nowadays, the project is going to require a little bit of county money, about $500,000. There's going to be a resolution being put forth to our membership in the next month or so to approve that bond, and that project is going to be anticipated to be started and completed in the summer of 2027. So I know that's not an extremely traveled area of the town, so I don't see a lot of traffic issues there, if you will. One of the projects that I'm really most excited about working on the past couple of years is looking at Old Red Oaks Mill Road, where it connects to Titusville. but more importantly, where it connects to Walker Hill, Cochrane Hill and Walker Road. Over by the Inn at the Falls, anyone who's driven through there, it is just dangerous. No matter which way you're kind of pulling out onto Red Oaks Mill Road, or if you're trying to make a left on either of the other two side roads, traffic coming from all different directions. So this is something that I've been working with DPW for a couple of years now on. It is not easy to do these projects. It originally first started as just a concept to fix the Walker Road, or Cochrane Hill, Walker, Red Oaks Mill Road, but then knowing that Titusville was also a hazard intersection, we decided to look at that too. So some of you may remember last year, it was around this time actually, we actually set up here in Town Hall with the engineering firm that was doing designs to show the public, hey, this is what we're thinking, but we want your feedback. There were several different options that were chosen, or reviewed. The one that looks like it's going to move forward with, it will be a roundabout there again, the Walker Hill, Cochrane Hill, Walker Road, Red Oaks Mill Road intersection, and a couple other improvements that we're going to be doing, widening the Titusville, Red Oaks Mill, and making a turn lane there. That's always been a big concern, is there's no turn lane. It's a very narrow area. So what's going on with that right now is, again, designs being done now. We expect that the designs should be completed by June. We have to start working on property acquisition. That's going to take some time. Of course, seeker, as well as again, going out to bid once we have the design, getting contractors selected and whatnot. So it's still going to be a little bit more time on that. We're going to be probably looking at not doing construction until probably 2028. But that is something, like I said, it's just been what I mentioned before, infrastructure safety specifically, and taking some of our intersections that are county roads and really making them much more safer for our residents. I want to talk about grant opportunities. So we're really excited that in the next couple of days, most likely, the county is going to announce our MIG grant, our Municipal Investment Grant. This is something that in the budget process this past November, December, myself and several of my colleagues sponsored $750,000 into this program. We've done it the past couple of years for various municipalities, if you will. This year specifically is going to go to municipal buildings and facilities. So it's municipal halls, senior centers, parks, fire stations are going to have access as well, and really anything that we would consider a community gathering space. In the grant application, there will be a definition for that. These are going to be, the max award on these grants are going to be $25,000. The idea behind that was, with having so many municipalities across the county, we wanted to make sure everybody would have an opportunity to take part in this. And like I said, the application should be out in the next couple of days. Supervisor, I will absolutely make sure you note about that as soon as it does. I will also reach out to the fire district as well, because again, they'll have an opportunity to do that, which is amazing. So really excited about seeing what project you guys may be able to put forward and take advantage of those funds as well. Speaking of fire commissioners, I know my colleague Legislator Arnoff and I and Supervisor and some town board members met with the fire commissioners back in February, discussed the concerns about town center. And I'm actually really glad to see tonight on the agenda that you guys had put that fire district liaison. I know they had a lot of concerns when it came down to what was happening when it came to planning and not having a say in it, and I think that's incredible. Piggybacking in on some of the comments I heard tonight, the hope is, especially with the BESS battery storage moratorium, that you absolutely get the fire district involved. I know in that meeting they even brought up some of the concerns they have, and in other conversations I know that they definitely want to sit at that table talking about from their perspective what that may or may not look like. So I plan on coming every month to give you updates. This was just kind of a little bit high level on the two topics I wanted to talk about today, the grant funding as well as the infrastructure projects. Just want all LaGrange residents to know, how to get in touch with me. The easiest thing is probably just to go on the county website, duchessny.com, or sorry, duchessny.gov, excuse me. If you don't know who your legislator is, there is a Find My Legislator. You put in an address and you'll be able to click on who your legislator is and see what their contact information is. In LaGrange, Legislator Arnoff and I, you can contact either one of us. We will absolutely make sure that you get the help. I know from being a resident and a constituent myself, sometimes when you have a concern, the first step is you just want someone to listen and hear you out. I can promise to the residents of LaGrange, I absolutely will listen. I will absolutely hear your concern. Sometimes I'm not able to directly help you, but I absolutely absolutely know plenty of people, whether it's in the town or the state or the federal government, that I can get someone help to. So I really hope that residents do take advantage. You know, government is sometimes scary, it's big, it's hard to navigate, and also it's hard to know, when do I go to my town hall? When do I go to the county? So I really want residents to know that we are always here to listen and to help you. So thank you again for the time. Really appreciate it, Supervisor, and look forward to future meetings and giving you more updates.
Thank you, Legislator
Thank you.
Polsek. Thank you very much. And yes, Legislator Emma Aronoff, good evening. How are you?
Like that for short people. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Supervisor Marinero and everyone on the board. I was very excited hearing you talk about the baseball fields and warmer weather. I know my boys and I cannot wait for baseball season to get started. It was a disappointing loss for the U.S. last night. I don't know who else stayed up, but we'll get them next time, and the Yankees will do it this year, so we'll be all right. Just want to say I'm grateful for Sandy and Parks and Rec here tonight. For taking on the Aronoff boys for another summer. Thank you very much. So some updates on my end. I just got home from the NISAC conference, which is the New York State Association of Counties conference. It was a wonderful opportunity to meet with electeds and legislators throughout New York State and hear about what other counties are doing and what we can learn from them. Specifically, I enjoyed learning about childcare and mental health, which I know from knocking on doors in LaGrange and throughout my district are issues that are top of mind for folks. So I'm excited to bring back some of those ideas. I am excited to share with everyone that I was appointed the chair of Family and Human Services Committee. This is really close to my heart as a legislator and a social worker. And as part of that role, I am serving as the liaison to the Citizens Advisory Council on Domestic Violence, another issue that I know is prevalent in this community and in our county and top of mind for many folks. And one of the things I was able to do in this role was get a presentation from the STRIVE team. That's a grant that we have here in Dutchess County. And it stands for Statewide Targeted Reductions in Intimate Partner Violence. This way. And that includes probation, law enforcement, social workers, family services, and other organizations working together. And I'm working now with the STRIVE team to have them come out to our committee meeting. It would be our May committee meeting if anyone is interested in learning about how we are supporting victims and survivors of domestic violence in this county, and what is available and you know, for all those folks. A really exciting thing that happened in the county legislature is we put $7 million into our housing trust fund to help support attainable housing throughout our community. I know in this community and throughout our county, housing shortage is an issue for most people. And so anything we can be doing to help with that is critical. The county legislator unanimously passed a resolution opposing the ICE detention center in Chester. I think anytime we can be unanimous in asserting our values is an exciting thing for our county. Like legislators Palacic mentioned, I spent a lot of time with our fire department talking about this LaGrange Town Center project, and attended the public hearing on the project, and there was a lot of concern around fire safety, around our preparedness for this moment and this level of development. And I'm so grateful that the time that was spent on that and the voices and the meetings we had were heard, and that this change was made. I think this is really important, especially with the topics we were talking about tonight. Our fire department works incredibly hard, and they are one of the best, and they deserve a seat at the table to make sure whatever projects we're bringing in, we are ready to do them in the safest way possible, in the best way possible for all our residents. So kudos on that. I'm really glad that that's something that's happening. Next month at our town board meeting, I am excited. I will be issuing my first proclamation. I have not been in quite as long as Legislator Palashik. I'm brand new, but I'm excited to be sharing an Autism Acceptance Month proclamation. Again, this is close to my heart. It is as a social worker specializing in neurodivergent children and families, and I can tell you at the doors, the amount of people that appreciate that need and what we could be doing more of in our county. And I welcome anybody who feels impacted by that to come to our board meeting and hear this proclamation. And I can't wait to also do a couple proclamations with Legislator Palashik, my first time getting to make proclamations for Eagle Scouts. This is an exciting moment for me to be celebrating members of our community. So that's a bit of an update on what's been happening at the county level. And just like Legislator Palashik said, we are here for you. We are excited to talk with you, whatever the issue is. If we can't solve it, we are an ear to listen to it and a voice to advocate for it. So thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Well, that was very helpful, and I can say that we're very fortunate in the town of LaGrange to have leadership in the legislature between Emma Arnoff and Michael Polasek. They both work extremely hard, and they care, and they're putting in the time. So thank you so much for the updates, both of you. We really appreciate that. Let's see where we are here. Okay, liaison reports. Let's see, Councilman Ryan, would you like to start by giving us an update on the open space?
Yes, Adrian, he attended the Association of Towns for the open space, and we met with Susan and Anthony on the battery storage, and actually responded to the Arlington Heights construction without a permit. They were stopped on that. Ellen, she complies with the list of the properties that might be available for conservation easements. I got them today, a long list of properties that I actually started calling people and see if anyone will be interested in it. And as far as the Connis farm you were talking about, that one there is going to be sold, and he's staying on the property. It's still going to stay ag, so didn't have to do anything with that one. And then as far as John Somers, he was at the continued preparing the wood boxes for the birdhouses, which is this weekend. They'll be putting them together. They'll be there at the Freedom Park. And then everyone they were building bat houses. They were getting the poles to put them all up and cleaning out the bluebird boxes along with help from others. And then they were working with the Nevos, working with the Sierra Club on the group, arranging a presentation on the Blessed Party on the 8th. So just remember the 8th, come for the battery storage so everyone can put in their 2 cents and everyone can understand what's going on. And Dieter closed out the grant on the open space, so now we can start immediately going for new grants on that. And the rest is, we were talking about vernal pools and larger properties that we can find out what's going on. And we'll have to get together and see who will come to every meeting for the planning board so we can get a liaison on that. And I think that will pretty much cover up to what we're at.
It's the Bird Box event, that's this weekend?
Yes, it is, yes.
And it's sold out?
Yeah, but you come, I can bring more pieces. I'm going to bring
No, that's great. That's exciting. I'm happy to hear that.
I'll bring my sawn, so if someone extra comes, we can figure it out.
That's good. That's excellent. It's closed out?
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. That's good.
Figure them out.
Thank you, Councilman Ryan. Councilman John Grasso, you have an update for us on recreation?
Well, our meeting is later on this week, but you touched on it's tomorrow. Okay. That I know, I'll never forget. Anthony, our supervisor, already touched on a little bit, but we had our first social luncheon today. It was absolutely fantastic. I walked in, and when I saw all the people there and how beautiful the place was decorated, how the tables were, I went to Sandy and said, that's great. How did you do this? And she goes, I wouldn't do it without my team. So I really want to thank Sandy and her team for doing such a beautiful job today at that senior social. So that's one thing. I want to thank the sponsors, was the Pines, correct? The Pines, and then Mitch and Zidane Neshawat. They sponsored this one. And again, whoever wants to sponsor, come see us, because we'll take your money so we can continue having a great time.
Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Robin, would you like to update us on building and zoning?
Sure. I'm in talks with the building inspector and his team.
Yep.
Just to identify areas we can improve
Mike,
there.
Can they hear you?
Okay.
Sorry.
And then the other item was identifying or determining how we can increase or we can actually change our fee structures in the building and zoning department. So that will be continued too.
Yeah, we're currently looking at our fee schedules. Some of them are quite outdated. It's been several years. So Councilwoman Robin has been spending some time at the building department, helping us take a look at it. She's been working with me, and I think you're coming in this week as well to spend more time. So it's a work in progress, yep. So thank you for that, Kelly. That's very appreciative, and I appreciate all your time and help on that. Okay, so that concludes our liaison reports. Town Attorney?
I have
Nothing? Okay, so this next, you want to bring something up? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on the Office of Aging, we met with them today at Sandy's senior social, and there's a scam prevention that they're going to do for free, and it would be a phone call you'll have to make, 845-486-2555, and set up for, it's all seniors 60 and above, and they will put it on your phone, so you actually, if you're getting scammed, you could tone in and you would have advice right there, real time, helping you do that. And then there's also they do drop-offs for doctor's appointments and stuff, but I would actually call them up, and they're on Delafield Street at 845-475-3511, and they'll give you all the information where they can help you and help make things nicer
Yeah, it's an
for seniors.
excellent opportunity for our seniors if they, the Office of the Aging through the county offers assistance every month. When you sign up, you can get either, I believe it's three rides two-way a month or 6 single-way. And you use Uber and they pay for it. And that was really helpful that we learned about this because we were putting that information out today at our senior social. So Councilman Ryan, I think that paperwork would be ideal if maybe we can get it on the website.
Yes, I
You
can.
want to bring it to Town Hall tomorrow? Or,
Yep.
And we'll
There's
get that
actually
posted
a
up?
few-
Yeah, that would be great. And the scam prevention also, they utilize an app on your phone so that in the event if you think you're being scammed, you can send that information to this number and they have a way of understanding if you're being scammed or not. So it's all amazing tools that are available currently in the county, but a lot of people don't know about it. So
And
it's a matter of us educating everybody.
And you can follow them on Facebook, so then you can get more information off there also.
Yeah, great. That was great. I'm happy you brought that up. Okay, so next, do I have a motion to open the public comment?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Aye. So this next opportunity here is for the public to talk about whatever you like.
Yes, Sandy.
Vinnie? Oh, Sandy? Okay, yeah.
Sandy Washburn, Parks and Recreation. Just a few things. First, we're happy to welcome those Arnoff boys of yours back to camp. I'm there many mornings, as you know, at drop-off time. And they always bounce out of the car. They got their baseball hats on, they're like ready to go. They're cute. Now, I couldn't keep up with them as a counselor, but that's why we have all those young kids who work out. And I also want to thank Mike Palashik. I have to say, he is not just your county legislator. I don't live in this community, even though I do call it my home so many times because I care about it that much. But he's on our Recreation Advisory Board, and he has been my connection to the county at the other end of the phone for grant information, for help, for support, answer questions, and I do just want to say thank you. He's also our caterer for our senior socials. And the folks who come out to that just absolutely love his food. This is not really a plug for you, it's just a thank you. And I just want to say we began our socials at Mike's place of business. On our first one, we had about 34 seniors registered, and we quite quickly grew out of his space. And we are just so proud of that. And he was the one who helped us with our very first coordination with the church to get us started down that conversation, which initially started out to be a location for our holiday social, so we didn't have to turn anyone away. And we had like 135 people at that one. And it turned into this incredible relationship that we have built with them for the new senior drop-in center. So I do want to thank Pastor Jason Elder from the church, the conversations, the meetings we have had to just work through the needs of both sides and to be able to open the doors and welcome us. And he was able to speak to the over 100 people who were in attendance today and just welcome them officially and just look forward to all that is coming. As many of you know, I've been working on this. It's been very dear to my heart for a number of years. We didn't have a space, so we just started in reverse. And, you know, I tell people that, you know, the movie, If You Build It, They Will Come. I finally decided if I get them all to come, then the town has to build us something. So and they all know it. I tell them all the time. But it is such an important priority. If you could hear what the seniors say to us about, you know, their appreciation is so great, and about finally being seen. That is just such a powerful statement. So we're just so excited for what's coming. We had a wonderful turnout today. We had guests, we had visitors. I have to say, our supervisor yesterday came and helped us set up the room. I was like, what? What are you doing? And he's just right there with us with the support and help where we need it. So we are grateful for that. So I get to announce the official opening of the Senior Center at the Freedom Plains United Presbyterian Church is set for Tuesday, April 7th is our opening day. We will be there every Tuesday and Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. We set our hours to try to scoot them out before the crazy high school traffic happens. Just felt it was safer for them and less stressful. So we are already, when I say we a lot. I'm not doing it. The new directors we have hired are working very closely with a number of program leaders, very much in tune with Office for the Aging. They have been on board before, you know, for weeks. After the first of the year when we started talking about this, Todd Tancredi was one of the first on the phone, Brian Jones, to reach out and congratulate us and to offer their services. We have a wonderful partnership already established with their office. One of their representatives was there today sharing the programs, and she will be a regular visitor to be able to educate. And I will be doing the first art program on our opening day. I do love art, and I have a studio at my house. And I will be doing the very first session while we get different things established. So the one thing we've told everyone, that this is really going to be a soft opening to just work with us. It will be growing in vibrancy and in attendance as we go. But I am happy to report that just today, through the paperwork that we brought to them, we already have 48 who have filled out their membership applications. So incredibly exciting. The center is open. We're starting with LaGrange residents, age 55 and up. And I chuckle because a few of us who are working with this could actually be attending the center. It's going to be LaGrange residents, age 55 and up. As we get a few months under our belt, then we will open to the surrounding communities that are eligible. The same policy, the same towns are eligible to get a lake pass. So there are 6 surrounding towns. It was important to us to recognize through getting to know those who are coming that some of them aren't comfortable to come without a friend, and they have a friend perhaps in Beekman or a friend in the town of Poughkeepsie, and we wanted to encourage and support that for our residents, so it's very important. I will tell you that today we had 3 people for the very first time coming to a social or to any senior program in the town, and they were all nervous, came in at different times, didn't know people who were there, and just were brave enough to do that. That's a big step, you know. And so our new directors got their names, welcomed them, ushered them to a table, introduced them to people at the table, and we saw 2 of them when they were leaving exchanging phone numbers. So that was really fantastic to see that. So stay tuned for more information. To the public who may be watching this, you can fill out your membership, again, free to LaGrange seniors, online at our specific registration website, which is lagrangeparksandrec.com. You can always call the recreation office, and we're right there to be able to answer your questions. We're at 452-1972 is the direct number to our office downstairs. And of course, you can pop in and see us, and we can help you out that way as well. And the final announcement for our seniors is first bus trip of this year. Is the registration opens tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So we are going back to Broadway to see the play Schmigadoon, and then before we see the play, it is lunch at Margaritaville. So our seniors love these trips, and I'm just grateful for the support of the board. You know, there's many days I say I have the, you know, the best job in the world, and today was one of those days. So thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Sandy, if somebody wanted to come to the town hall to register, can they do that in the office downstairs as well? Okay. In case, you know, anyone needs assistance and they can't do it at home, they're welcome to come to town hall. We set up a station downstairs, and our team will help them get registered. So.
Yes, we have a dedicated public access computer in our office to be able to support people who have a little issue with the technology. So,
yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vinny.
Vincent Barber Giovanni, 36 Nichols Court, LaGrange. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you, everybody, for the bill, for the water bill. The only thing is, I pay for the water $90, and I pay for the wastewater $180. That's double what I'm paying for water. There's another thing, too. The bill of November 2025, I used up 16,000 gallons of water. I pay $70. This current bill, I used up 13,000 gallons. I pay $90. Is there something wrong with that?
Obviously, if you'd like, that we can help you we can go over it, absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's put it this way, I'm not paying for this bill till I get this thing settled. It's kind of ridiculous, you know, paying 13,000 gallons, $90, and I get a bill of 16,000 gallons, I pay $70. That's...
Yeah, we'll be happy to take a look at that then, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, dear.
This seems a little random, but the other day, in what seemed like a completely random thing, a little headline from the Poughkeepsie Journal popped up saying, New York State is offering free testing of private wells in Dutchess County and one other for PFAS. And then if you have troublesome levels, they will give you $5,000 toward a remediation system. I signed up. I haven't heard any more about this, and it seems like, I don't know if LaGrange could put a link to that on our website.
Sure.
But it seems, you know, the state has offered this and no one's talking about it. But, and we have a lot of private wells here.
That's great. No, thank you. Dave, yep.
Yeah. Just real quick.
I just wanted to say that I agree with both legislators that the liaison to the planning board from the fire district is a great idea. Unfortunately, it's a little late for certain things, but it's a step in the right direction, so I'm very appreciative of that. It's been a long time since we had the public hearing on the town center. And I know we've had some discussions in the past here about how there isn't anything really legally compelling the applicant to answer all the questions that we were supposed to get answers to after the public hearing ended. I just feel like it's a little disingenuous when the planning board chair, who's not here, who's not you, I get that, but you are our elected officials, and promises that, and then nothing happens. And when you call the office or you email, you get a very curt response, or we haven't heard anything from the applicant, so we can't help you. I just feel like that's wrong, and I know there's a lot of people that feel the same way. Like, when are we ever going to hear anything? Which could be never. But if it was going to be never, then maybe we shouldn't have gone through the theatrics of that night. So that's all I really want to say, and I'm just really disappointed that this happened in this way. All right?
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
And I would just ask the town attorney, like, I know that particular application is in front of the planning board, right? Like, are we allowed to make a comment? Like, I know that you're not allowed to really...
I mean, to my understanding is the public comment,
to Dave's point, like, obviously, he's bringing up something that a lot of people have brought up, right? And I know I have my thoughts to this too, but like, are we allowed to make comments when it comes to things like that?
So the public hearing is closed, right? I mean, there is, there's a First Amendment right to be able to petition the government, obviously. So whether or not you could submit written comments and the planning board, to try and compel them to address them, they're not, as I said at the last meeting, they're not legally required to answer them. I understand your frustration with it. I mean, we can certainly follow up, but there's no mechanism I'm aware of to just compel them to answer questions that were put forward. Maybe it's coming at a later date in the future. I'm not sure where they are with it, but
that's the frustration, not sure where they are with it. But the frustration that I have, it's not really frustration. It's the feeling that I cannot trust what the planning board is doing. And by extension, unfortunately, the town board selects the planning board. So I know you guys, some of you did not do that, I understand, but it is what it is. And so there's frustration and there's a lack of trust. And it's not just me. That's all I'm trying to say here, okay?
So can I say something? I'm Jody Keevan, I'm the receiver of tax.
Come on up, Jody.
It's open. A resident.
Jody Keevan, Carter Road. I was there at the town center meeting, and it wasn't necessarily that the planning board said they were going to publish it. It was the builder was going to answer. So maybe the question really is that the planning board hasn't gotten any information from the builder, so they're really not at fault here, or is getting the anger from when they don't know.
Could someone tell us that?
Well, I guess it would be a representative of the planning board can say, we're not hearing from the builder or the developer, who clearly the beginning of that meeting, it was everything was going to be compiled and they were going to answer it. So if the planning board hasn't heard, the town board hasn't heard, then it's still then on the builder. So who gets the builder to answer the questions and the letters that had to be in by, if I remember correctly, January 3rd? So, and I just take offense to hearing negativity to the planning board, since personally I'm married to one of them, so my apologies. So,
let's finish this argument. The planning board set the expectation.
Based on the conversation with the builder. Based by the conversation with the builder, don't you think?
So then communicate to us at least.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay? That's all.
That's it.
That's what I'm curious to know. I don't know.
I don't think there's any problem with the town board. We can certainly follow up and see where that is. I mean, inform the chair.
I wanted to know from the attorney, like, I don't want to do something that then we get in trouble on. you know?
We can't compel them to answer a question like that, but that could very well be the case, the last speaker just said.
If
So
we're allowed
we can certainly ask where that is, and they can, there's a meeting tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
There's a meeting tomorrow night, maybe they can be addressed then, but we're, yeah, as we said, we're not the planning board, so.
That works.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, that's
Thank
fine.
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Anyone else like to come up and speak? John?
Just wait. Okay, John Wispin, the Grange Highway Superintendent. Residents, the street supers will be out, oh God. End of this month, they're always scheduled a year before, and they will be coming out April 1st, because they had their issues. I spoke to them today. Our street super has been out doing certain roads and developments. Our crews have been out fixing what we can with the plow damage, repairing what we need to be. It's still early, so we will be going back out again and putting some topsoil down where we need to. We're in most cul-de-sacs. So please be patient. And those who are waiting on their mailbox to be fixed, we will be going out now. The ground is thawed out. Winter's over. Let's fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you have any other questions, ask them now, or just call any concerns. If your lawn was damaged during this wild storm or this winter we had, just please reach out. All right, thank you.
Thank you, John.
You cleaned up our cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Got our oak leaves out of the street.
Anyone else would like to speak before we close the public comment? Yes, Dieter. Dieter is our chairman of the Open Space Committee.
Unrelated.
Unrelated, okay.
So, not to pile on, but Dave, I feel your frustration, like, way before you guys. For years, we would have like environmental impact studies, and we'd get public input, and you'd put in questions, and the developer would come up with this bogus answer that didn't even apply, and that was the end of it. You couldn't, there was no recourse, there was no, what are you talking about? Anyway, that's that. Totally on another tangent. Kind of mentioned this briefly to Anthony, and since I got my county folks here, maybe you have state connections. I'm actually in the Millbrook School District, but drive through town all the time, and I see the kids walking from the high school over to Planet Fitness. And in the wintertime, you see that snowbank. They're like they're crossing a ramp, an on-ramp and an off-ramp. If there's any kind of grant or something we could get the state, it's a state road, and it's a state parkway, just to make it a safer journey for those kids. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Dieter. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. All right, do I have a motion to close the public comment?
Motion.
Second. All in favor, aye. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor, aye. Thank you all very much. Have a great evening. Thank you.